legendary street rapper having a standoff with police, getting locked up. For Gucci Mane, the street life ended when his own Cine put a gun to his face in Dallas, forcing him to pick up the phone and call authorities. The same man who beat a murder charge, outlasted federal prosecutors, and built a massive empire, simply chose to stand down. This is why his legacy is under fire. Subscribe now for the full Dallas setup. On January 10th, 2026, Radrick Davis landed in Dallas with 2 team members, driving straight to Luminous Studios. Their sole purpose was a meeting with Pooh Shiesty, also known as Lontrell Williams Jr., who signed to 1017 Record. Shiesty desperately wanted out of his recording contract, and Gucci actually came to negotiate. Gucci flew in expecting a standard business talk, but federal prosecutors reveal a coordinated, fully armed takeover was waiting instead. Shiesty was accompanied by 8 others, including his father, Lontrell Williams Sr., fellow Memphis artist Big 30, legal name Rodney Wright Jr., and 6 more accomplices waiting in position. The moment Gucci and his team crossed the threshold, the exits were immediately blocked shut. The crew separated the targets, escorting Gucci directly into the isolated recording booth. Picture this scene. You are standing inside a professional recording booth, the safe space where you build hits, and suddenly your own signed artist, the very kid you discovered, reportedly pulls out an AK-style Draco pistol, points it directly at your face, and forces you to sign release papers. Simultaneously, the rest of the crew is ransacking everyone's pockets. They snatch designer chains, high-end Rolex watches, cash, and even slip the wedding band right off Gucci's finger. Reports state one associate was choked near unconsciousness. They kept the others at gunpoint, blocked the exits, and allegedly filmed the entire crime on camera, capturing verbal contracts on mobile screens, as if recording somehow justifies a violent robbery. Gucci had professional protection, a retired Detroit police officer trained for dangerous shootouts, but he strictly told his guard to stand down. He did not reach for a weapon, did not fight, did not resist. He assessed the dangerous room, saw they were hopelessly outgunned, and made a critical executive decision. Remember, this is Gucci Mane, the legend who took a life in 2005 and got acquitted. That veteran stared down the barrels pointing his way and kept cool. Let us look at the deeper context together. This was no random street robbery by nameless thieves. This was an organized hit crew from out of state. This was an artist Gucci personally brought on, invested massive capital in, mentored, and elevated to mainstream fame. Shiesty was actually serving house arrest for separate crimes when this ambush occurred, meaning he was already heavily monitored. Yet he still pulled a highly dangerous stunt. The crime scene? Not some back alley, but a recording studio in Dallas. Gucci traveled there for legitimate business negotiations, only to walk into a trap. The public remained in the dark initially. Shocking details leaked slowly through social media clips, official indictments, and press reports over several weeks. Major outlets like the BBC and People magazine covered the crime, with public suspense growing daily. Some labeled it harsh karma for bad label deals, while others saw it as proof that decades of street reputation protect nobody. In a stunning turn of events, Gucci cooperated, providing a formal statement directly to the Dallas Police Department without hesitation. An FBI investigator testified in court that the icon fully detailed the entire ambush, the weapons, and threats. He identified where the gunmen stood, what garments they wore, and gave the exact sequence of the entire terrifying incident. He spelled it all out. By April 2026, 9 suspects faced heavy federal indictments for kidnapping and armed robbery. Arrests struck Memphis and Dallas. Shiesty pleaded not guilty and was denied bond. A major trial is set for July 2026 in Dallas, where these severe charges carry life sentences. Just process that a life sentence. The young star Gucci personally signed is now stuck in federal custody for allegedly robbing his own mentor. This is exactly why critics claim his legendary run is finished. The businessman who walked in isn't the shooter from 20 years ago. 2 decades back, we wouldn't even have this discussion, because someone definitely wouldn't have walked out of that recording studio alive. But the modern Gucci entered as a record executive and left as a federal witness. He chose cooperation. He supplied names and timelines under oath, which is shocking for a veteran whose brand relied on the street code. Handle things yourself, protect your secrets, and never speak to authorities. That was his unwritten rule, and he just shattered it forever. Some call it growth, others call it snitching. Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and smash that like button. To fully understand why this cultural rift runs so deep, we must examine Gucci's next strategic move and the industry's reaction. Subscribe as we unpack the massive federal fallout from early April 2026. And Gucci Mane did not wait a raid to just fight at R or hold some formal press conference. No generic apology notes posted on Instagram. Instead, the rap icon went straight back to the booth. Gucci dropped Crash Dummy, a fiery track produced by Zaytoven, aimed straight at Pooh Shiesty. It exploded across the rap landscape like a bomb at a gas station. The sharp lyrics dissected that crazy Dallas setup with absolute precision, framing Shiesty as the architect of his own downfall. Now, here's the part of this story that really stings. Our team analyzed how Gucci exposed the massive irony of this situation. Despite the weapons, the robbery, and the forced signing, Shiesty remains legally bound to 1017 records. Were those documents signed under duress completely useless? With the original contract still standing, Gucci flipped this entire public embarrassment into a massive power move. He targeted what we see as family betrayal, taking aim at Shiesty's dad for being a named co-defendant, like father, like son. Yet beneath the heavy bravado and celebration, we noticed a darker theme. You and I can hear the raw, unedited betrayal bleeding right through his vocals. This was not just some distant rival he was throwing shots at. We are talking about an artist he discovered in Memphis, gave a stage, and pushed to global stardom. Yet that same protege allegedly pointed a weapon at his face. The track works on two fronts. A cold business flex masking a deep personal wound. It is an industry power play wrapped in trauma that no tough lyric can fully hide. Unsurprisingly, the video and track exploded immediately online, racking up millions of quick views. Major outlets covered it, while commentators like us picked apart every single line and subliminal message. The rapid release timing shocked everyone. He had this diss track ready the moment the arrest hit the news. Either his team works with insane speed, or this bullet was already chambered and waiting for a trigger. Now, look. Here is where our investigation gets messy, because this song forced a massive question into the spotlight. If he is still that street legend, handling things on his own terms, then why did he cooperate with authorities and provide a detailed federal statement? Can you drop a track claiming dominance while playing the star witness in a major federal kidnapping case? That massive contradiction split the rap community, and the snitch allegations immediately went nuclear. Drop a like on this video. Official records show he gave a complete rundown to Dallas police. He detailed weapons, named names, and mapped out the timeline. For many hip-hop fans, that is a boundary you simply do not cross. It does not matter if you were the target. To them, the street code is absolute. 50 Cent immediately started trolling by referencing Gucci's history, while Boosie Badazz also weighed in. Opinions flooded social media, with viral clips fueling a massive debate that has no simple answers. However, plenty of defenders pushed back, keeping their argument incredibly simple. Gucci was the actual victim here, abducted at gunpoint. His attacker stole his wedding ring and threatened his life. Reporting a federal kidnapping is not snitching, it is basic survival. Demanding a 46-year-old father stay quiet about an armed robbery for some unwritten code is wild. It is insane. Keisha Kawar publicly defended her husband. She shut down the rumors, insisting that protecting your family is never a violation. Meanwhile, Gucci walked a delicate tightrope. During recent live streams, he strongly denied cooperating, loudly insisting that he was handling this street drama on his own terms. But those federal files exist, regardless of his public statements. We see a massive conflict between the legendary street persona who would never talk and the actual person whose detailed testimony now sits in federal filings. That is the ultimate contradiction. Still, loyal fans keep packing his live concerts, screaming out every single lyric. His core fan base cares more about the actual artist than unwritten street rules. This situation exposes a deep divide that hip-hop has dodged for years. It is the direct clash between idealized street codes and the real-world dynamics of wealth, fatherhood, and staying alive. Gucci stands right at the epicenter of this clash, and you and I know this friction did not start yesterday. Gucci's history with deadly beefs, violent rivalries, and internal betrayal spans over 2 decades. To truly understand why this Dallas situation hit so hard, we must rewind and examine the brutal wars he survived long before stepping into that studio. The rap wars. Long before Shiesty, there was Jeezy. And before the clean interviews, sober milestones, and the healthy Gucci everyone memes today, there was real blood. Actual blood. This clash between Gucci Mane and young Jeezy stands as one of the deadliest feuds in hip-hop history, sparking over the one thing that ruins every alliance: cash and credit. Back in 2005, they dropped the hit Icy. Their royalty dispute went personal fast. But as industry analysts, we know what truly separated this from other Atlanta beefs. Things got incredibly violent. Real blood was spilled. This was no mere rap beef. A bounty was allegedly placed on Gucci's chain, triggering a violent home invasion at his spot. During that home invasion, Gucci shot and killed one of the intruders, Pooh Shiesty, who was heavily tied to Jeezy's crew. The courts ruled it self-defense, but the stain was permanent. It just would not wash away. It couldn't. From then on, Gucci was no longer just some artist writing rhymes about the streets. He had lived it in the most permanent way. He was now a man who took a life and beat the murder chart. That reputation loomed over every studio session, handshake, and feature, following him into every room he entered. Everyone in hip-hop knew. What followed was years of bitter diss tracks. This tension became a permanent thread in Atlanta's rap scene, impossible to pull out without tearing down the entire culture. If you remember their Versus battle in 2020, the internet held its breath. Nobody knew if it would bring peace or pure chaos. Then, Gucci dropped Truth on live television, the brutal diss track directly mocking the Pooh Shiesty shooting. Performing before millions, the venue was a powder keg. But Jeezy chose to take the high road and de-escalate. They actually shared the stage, performed their hits, and gave the entire hip-hop community a rare moment of real-time closure. Two legendary rivals choosing peace over war. Drop a like if you respect their maturity. The old scars remained clear during their tense interaction. Yet, choosing to heal in public sent a powerful message about how far both artists had actually come. But Jeezy wasn't the only deep wound. The fallout with Waka Flocka Flame cut even deeper, because Waka wasn't a rival, he was practically family. Waka was no ordinary 1017 signee. Together, they built a massive trap movement with anthems like Hard in the Paint. That run took their careers to a new level. Because they were so close, the eventual split became incredibly messy. By 23, Gucci cut Waka from the roster, triggering an immediate legal war. There were claims of fraud, missing royalties, and a messy family dynamic featuring Waka's mother, Deborah Antony. She had managed Gucci's early career, which turned a business dispute into a deeply personal betrayal. It tore through business, friendship, and family all at once, leaving both camps completely damaged. Both sides incredibly bitter. Neither side could explain the fallout because their history was incredibly tangled. Subscribe to our channel as we continue to break down these legendary beefs. Then we saw the friction with T.I., a constant debate over who truly ruled Atlanta and created the trap music genre. T.I. dropped in 2003. Gucci countered in 2005. Both claimed ownership of the genre. While the T.I. feud never became as dangerous as the Jeezy situation, it piled onto an already heavy mental load. It was another relationship ruined by rivalry rather than partnership. Another massive bridge burned under the weight of ego and local hierarchy. This conflict kept him constantly paranoid, fueling the intense siege mentality that defined his early rap career. Each of these feuds left deep scars, slowly destroying his ability to trust anyone. By the time Pooh Shiesty aimed that weapon at him in Dallas, Gucci had already been burned by his closest collaborators and peers more times than most people experience in a lifetime. The tragic pattern was always identical. His inner circle always delivered the hardest blows. Make sure to like this video as we transition into his mental health struggle. Beneath the surface, there was a quiet struggle he rarely discussed with the public. When he finally broke his silence, it completely changed how we report on him. To truly understand why he walked away from violence in Dallas, we must examine his mental state. His breakdown. For a long time, fans watched his erratic behavior as pure entertainment, ignoring the endless legal issues and arrests, the chaotic social media rants, and that infamous ice cream face tattoo. As music commentators, we watched beef spark from nothing. Pure chaos. Subscribe now as we unpack how fans ate it up. What we in the media missed completely back then was the brutal reality. Behind the headlines, he was battling diagnosed bipolar disorder and schizophrenia, cycling through psychosis, mania, and depression that almost killed him. He later admitted to us that it took a while to adjust, but after 3 years without slipping, that quiet moment of reflection hits differently when we analyze his dark past. Long before his clean lifestyle, sober interviews, and calm energy, our news desk tracked years of public crises that blurred rap personas with mental emergencies. Gucci Mane spent fortunes on lean and whatever substances he could find, trying to self-medicate through psychiatric crises without any real support system. Psychiatric hospitalizations soon followed. Our sources confirm that neither his management nor his inner circle knew if they were seeing the famous rapper or a human being in absolute crisis. The boundary had completely vanished. During one terrifying incident, we uncovered his former partner, Keshia Kaur, reportedly ordered security to force Gucci into a hospital during a severe breakdown. Let that sink in. The woman who loved him had to strip away his freedom and force medical treatment, because watching him die was the only other option. This isn't just some hip-hop lyrics. This was a devastating real-life crisis. Substance abuse fed his mental instability in a vicious cycle, playing out across courtroom, police stations, studios, and hospital rooms, and on social media where millions watched and mocked him. Between 2010 and 2014, his frequent arrests felt tragically routine. Every single arrest dragged him deeper into a criminal justice system that was ready to swallow him. Rap fans watched his mugshots stack up and immediately turned his pain into viral memes. Hit the like button if you agree that nobody stopped to care we were watching a human being completely unravel online. Then his 2014 to 2016 federal prison sentence hit, catching everyone by surprise. Neither his family nor the industry saw what was coming on Friday, September 13th, 2016. 2013. In 2013, that entire spiraling season led to prison, but the collapse did not happen overnight. It was a steady, daily breakdown, with every single day darker than the last. It was a massive, week-long buildup where everything in his life finally boiled over. Our reports show his memory began fracturing. The psychotic episodes grew so intense that he lost entire years of his life to total blackouts. Everything just got worse, much worse. He would recall minor details, only for them to vanish entirely as his mental state plummeted. Pause on that. An artist losing his own memories because his mental decline was so rapid. This completely shatters any media attempt to glorify street life or turn his suffering into rap entertainment. This was no record label marketing stunt. It was a real human being, losing touch with reality. Only a federal prison cell stopped his freefall, and once freed, he put it on paper. His 2017 memoir laid out this tragic timeline with honesty that shocked the entire industry. Major outlets like NPR hailed it as a rebirth, while other journalists focused on his struggle. He was battling far more than legal drama and music industry rivalries. It was a fight to prove his basic humanity behind the hip-hop myth. By 2024, fresh controversy emerged from elsewhere. His former partner, Mac Brazy, publicly alleged domestic abuse and unpaid music royalties. While he denied these claims, they added another difficult chapter to the incredibly complex profile of an artist whose private life has always been defined by chaos. Yet back in 2016, a massive shift split his entire career clean in half. The before and after was so staggering that fans and critics wondered if it was the same man. To grasp who walked into that Dallas studio in January 2026, we must analyze the transformed figure who left federal prison 10 years ago. His rebirth. When he came home in 2016, the change was so dramatic across his look and behavior. Let's look at how he seemed so spiritually different from expectations that a massive corner of the internet claimed he was a clone. That bizarre rumor spread like wildfire, fed by his dramatically slimmed-down physique, his unsettlingly calm vibe, and those polished interviews where he spoke in steady, measured thoughts. It turned into one of rap's biggest running jokes. But underneath those memes, we saw a transformation that was absolutely, undeniably real. He got clean. No temporary breaks. No just cutting back. No casual weekend drinking. He was fully clean, declaring, quote, "No, nothing. I don't drink. I don't smoke." He proudly announced 4 straight years of absolute sobriety, without a single drink or smoke. For someone who spent nearly 10 years heavily dependent on lean and liquor, or whatever else was around. Staying clean like this is not just a lifestyle tweak, it is a constant battle against every habit his old life hardwired into him. Yet, he never went into hiding. He did not escape to some isolated ranch to avoid triggers. Instead, he remained right in the mix, navigating the VIP clubs, studios, and after-parties, where every single table is loaded with temptation, where every greeting comes with a drink. He even recalled being at clubs where everyone was popping expensive bottle, champagne flowing everywhere around him. An entire environment custom-built to drag a person right off the wagon. Every single corner designed to tempt him. Yet, he only ordered water. That alone tells us everything we need to know. He was not ashamed of sobriety. He never hid it. He did not treat it like a private struggle to hide from the cameras. He wore sobriety like his diamond chains, the ultimate flex. In 2017, he married Keshia Kaur. The ceremony was broadcast on national television, lavish, public, and incredibly deliberate. That wedding was much more than a milestone. It was a loud declaration that the chaotic chapter was officially closed. A new era had begun with deliberate intent and real purpose. Keisha stood by him through heavy addiction, prison time, public breakdowns, and constant humiliation. If you respect that loyalty, hit subscribe. We credit her as the stabilizing force behind his massive shift. Soon after, fatherhood arrived, providing a steady anchor to a life once defined by total chaos and a refusal to settle. He left prison and immediately dropped his album, Everybody Looking, a massive comeback proving he had not lost a step. Sobriety did not dull his talent, it actually sharpened it. He kept running his music label, 1017 Records, signing fresh talent and driving major projects, scaling a corporate empire that reached far beyond music into real estate, investments, and major brand deals. But here is the real tension you and I must analyze after that Dallas incident. He never fully abandoned the gritty themes that made him famous. He kept releasing heavy street anthems, maintaining the iconic trap aesthetic, the intense imagery, and that unmistakable posture. His personal evolution was genuine, yet his commercial brand still capitalized on the dangerous mythos of his past. That is a massive paradox nobody can easily resolve. How do you maintain credibility in a culture built entirely on raw authenticity when your authentic self has completely changed? How do you keep it real when real changes? January 2026 answered that heavy question, whether he wanted it answered or not. Now in his mid-40s, clean, wealthy, and fully focused on his family and business affairs, Gucci chose self-preservation and the law over the streets. He reported the crime and fully cooperated with federal agents. He let law enforcement handle a situation that his younger self would have settled with street violence. Street consequences be damned. That is why critics claim his life is over. Obviously, he is still healthy, free, and successful. He is still releasing music, running his label, and headlining sold-out shows. If you respect his hustle, like this video, what's truly over is the reckless version of him from before September 13, 2016. The man who would have opened fire in that Dallas recording booth. The man who would never willingly speak to police. The artist who lived on a knife's edge between prison and death, and proudly called that edge his home. That old persona is gone. In his place stands a father who simply wants to watch his children grow up. A dedicated husband who still wears the wedding ring that thieves tried to steal from him at gunpoint. A smart entrepreneur who realized the ultimate move in that Dallas booth was not about winning, it was about surviving. Ultimately, whether you and I call this maturity or the death of an era depends on what we valued about him from the start. Either way, that chapter is officially closed. He chose to end his old life on his own terms. If you want more rap news, subscribe and click those videos on your screen.